Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, September 17th. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. A bunch to talk about. First off, I want to tell you something what we're working on in our trading room. So this profile is live streamed all day, right? At no extra charge. So if you're learning the profile, it's a great tool. Right? It's a pretty big expense, Window Trader, but it's free for you guys to see it until you get used to it. But now we're also trying to work on one of the members in the room. It's in the works to have market profile on TradingView, where you can actually put it on if you have TradingView, if you're a member of the room, to be able to see it. Now it's certainly not on par with Window Trader offers, okay? But for somebody who's potentially learning, they could look at that and mine throughout the day. But at least that one they could have right on their computer, not looking at mine being live streamed. So another huge benefit to this trading room. Another huge benefit is on a day like today to keep it calm, cool, and collected. Now, again, most people have been following me for a long time. I didn't take a trade after F period, okay? You want to call me wimp, this, that, you call me anything you want. I'm a trader. This is my livelihood. This is my business, okay? Not trading for 2 hours because the market has zero edge is intelligent. Most traders, if you're going to be called a trader, you need to be educated and intelligent. The majority of people that traded those last 2 hours are not traders. Okay? You want to call them gamblers, idiots, you call them whatever you want. Okay? The volume was incredibly heavy those last 2 hours. We'll go over that in a second. But please believe me when I say, you'll see on social media somebody saying, I made 200 points on one trade in NQ. What they fail to tell you is 10 trades, for the previous 10 trades, they lost probably 30 to 50 to 100 points each time. So yeah, they're not lying. They might have made 200 points on one move, but they blew up probably 20 accounts prior to that because most of these people use just prop accounts. Prop accounts love these type of days. I can assure you of that. So you can take social media and along with news and everything else, throw it out the window. The market spiked when the news came out at 2. It was a short-lived spike. Never saw it again in ES. NQ never even made a new high until late in the day, and that was short-lived. Then we ripped lower. And then ES goes and closed, and I said this in the room. I said I would not be surprised if they close near the volume pocket and the TPO. Now, I said it for both of them. Well, ES did. NQ did not. Just quickly with my trading, I took a decent loss in A period, thinking we were going to get the overnight low in NQ. Cost me $2,000. However, I got it back when we came down in B, and I took a 10 lot to get both A's low and the overnight low. So I got that $2,000 back. I made some money in my personal account after that with some ebb and flow trading. I got the IB low. Nothing great, but I got the IB low. And then I shut down my personal trading, put up a couple of prop accounts, but I did very, very little in them. There wasn't much as far as I was concerned. And there was no way I was going to trade 2 o'clock. You know, his press conference ended at 3:20. I said, if we get a directional move, okay, then maybe I would take a trade. But we didn't. It was still just chop. Our scorecards reflect that. Right? The Bears won, but 4-2 in ES and 4-1 in NQ. NQ just missed getting both overnights. Our value ends overlapping a low in ES, overlapping a lower in NQ, totally higher in righty. Now, this is interesting. Righty spikes to a yearly high. They did not get the all-time high. I thought they did, but they did not. They did not. So, and they left excess. Righty goes out. They are up on all three time frames, and right, and a 9-wide POC. All three of our dailies are different. Righty is up, and Q goes out with a 10-wide POC, and they are balance on the daily now. What's the balance? Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's your balance. They still have the rollover gap. They have about $2 left. They ate into it pretty good, but there's $2 left. ES goes out 10 wide, but they are now down on the daily. They came within a couple of ticks of going back to balance when the market spiked in J. But this is a beautiful example of who we're trading against. Look where we stopped. 7 ticks from yesterday's high. If they had gotten that, you would have closed with balance. But we're not. We're down on the daily. Okay? So right now, ES is down. So all three of them are different. ES down, NQ balance, righty up on the daily. The longer time frames, monthly and weekly, are very healthy. They're all up for all three of us. I think now the market digests what transpired today, and hopefully we get some kind of directional move. Now, there's still a lot of garbage to go through. We have SPY going ex-dividend tomorrow night. You have expiration on Friday. Okay? So that's going to be a disconnect on the charts. I like looking at SPY because I don't back adjust. So when we were going down in SPY, I wanted to see what we were taking out. We took back the whole trend day from the 12th, but we didn't get the 11th low. So that's why I think the ETFs, for me, are cleaner and more important to look at chart-wise. Now, speaking of chart-wise, let's go. Just the S&P for now. So look at the monthly. It's still very healthy. Okay? It's still very healthy. It's up. It just keeps chugging along. So again, nothing has changed here. Now, the first step change today in the S&P, the daily's down. But nothing now can happen to the monthly unless the weekly goes back to at least balance. Well, the weekly's still up. So the monthly's up, the weekly's up. The daily's down. However, if we take out yet today's high tomorrow, we're right back to balance. Now we're at 88.5 million, so that's very good volume. IWM, 79 million. They averaged 33 million. However, they didn't get the all-time high. They just missed it. And now they did leave some excess on the daily. Something to just keep an eye on. I still think, though, they will get that all-time high. And in the Qs, in NQ, 68 million. They averaged 45 million. Okay? They just came into balance because they were up coming into today. So it'll be a 4-day balance, like I said. They took back the weekly gap. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is your balance. So how we come out of that balance could start determining if it's back to the upside, then nothing changes, and here we go again. If you come out of balance in NQ to the downside in the daily, then again you start looking for the weekly low, just like in ES. It all remains to be seen. Again, this room, look, I've been doing this since 1983. Both on the trading floor and behind the screen now for the last 15 years behind the screen. We tell it like it is. We tell you our losses. We tell you our wins. We tell you what the market's looking for, what we think it's looking for. We always give both scenarios, bull and bear. And I think it's a place, if you really, truly want to be a trader, it's a big difference between a trader and everybody else. You need to educate yourself. Come and check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel. And we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.